In this video, I'm going to talk about the Protractor tool and the Rotate tool. They both perform functions using angles, but they do very different things. The Protractor tool is used like the tape measure tool in that it is used to draw guidelines. So I'll select the Protractor tool over here. And let's say I want to measure what this angle is. So I would start at a corner, and I want to make sure that it's the protractor shown as the correct color. Depends what surface I hover over. So I want to start there. I'm going to click and release. I want to measure from, in this case, a vertical line. So I'm going to come up here along the blue axis. I'm going to click and release again, and then I'm going to move, and you'll see the line moves over. And once I'm on the line, it shows down in the measurement window that I'm at 30 degrees. So it's just telling me what that angle is. If I click here, it creates a line at that angle. I'll undo that. If I wanted to, say, make a line that was going down in this direction, 20 degrees from this line, like before, I would want to start here, so I'm going to click and release. I'll come over here. I'm measuring from this line, so I'll click and release, and then come down here. And once again, I can see down in the measurements window, there's an angle there. I can enter an angle. I'm going to enter 20 and tap the enter key, and there is my line that's 20 degrees from that line. If I now wanted to, say, get rid of this area above here, I would use the line tool, draw a line from there to there, and then I can push-pull that back like that. So Protractor is used for either measuring angles or creating guidelines at angles to other parts. So I'm going to undo that. The Rotate tool, this one here, it is accessed by typing Q. It is used to rotate geometry. So let's say I want to rotate this whole part. I've selected the part. I'm going to go to Rotate. Let's say I want to rotate it around the blue axis, right? I can rotate around various axes depending on where I move the mouse. So I'll hold it there. I'm going to click and release. That's my center point of rotation. I want to measure, let's say, start my angle from this point, and then you'll see as I move around, I could go, whatever angle I want. It locks in at 15-degree intervals if I hover near this protractor, or as before, I could enter in, let's say I want to go 25 degrees, I can enter 25 and enter, and that rotates the part. So pretty simple. I just need to remember, if I undo that, I need to specify the axis orientation and then a location, a pivot point basically, and a from and a to. So just as another example, let's say I want to lay this geometry down on its side. I'll go to the Rotate tool. I want the protractor to be red, and I want to rotate around that point. So I'm going to click and release. I'll come up here. I'm going from this point. I'm going to click and release, and then we'll rotate down there to 90. I could either enter 90 or it clicks on 90 there. I can click and release again, and we're done. And then I want to deselect that. Just good habit to get into. I'm going to go back to the Select tool by tapping the space bar and just click outside of there. So I'm going to undo that. And note also that I can, just like with the Move command, I can copy things. So if I select the geometry again, and let's say I want to rotate this around the blue axis. Tap Q for rotate. I'm going to click and release to establish that point. I'll tap Control to copy, click on the green axis, and then I can come around to the red axis. Click again, or I could enter an angle. So that rotates and copies.